Today we shall look at introduction to computers, and basically we are going to define a computer. Then after defining the computer, we look at the characteristics of a computer, and that shall make our lesson today. And therefore we start right away. Computer, general purpose machine which receives data, manipulates it, and outputs information. And others prefer to add the word electronic, that a computer is an electronic machine that accepts data inputs, processes it, and outputs information. You are free to add other functions of a computer like storage, because it's not part of this definition that we have given. Therefore, you are very free to say a computer is an electronic and general purpose machine that accepts data inputs, processes it, stores it, and outputs information, which it can communicate at one time from one place to another, or transmit from one place to another. So after defining the computer, we can look at the characteristics of a computer. What makes a computer? When you look around, and there are quite a number of objects, what qualifies one object to be a computer and another object not? And the very first that we shall look at is accuracy. That computers are very, very accurate, that they hardly make mistakes. And you hear that's why people the term jiggle, garbage in, garbage out. That's where it comes from, that computers hardly make mistakes. And most of the mistakes that are made by the computer are largely by the computer user. Hence the saying jiggle, garbage in, garbage out. When you enter wrong data into the computer, it definitely gives you wrong information after processing. But if you enter right data, it will process it, and therefore the information you get will be very, very accurate. Therefore, sometimes we have questions that will say, explain the following terms as used in ICT, and they will say jiggle. And of course, you know that is garbage in, garbage out. And we shall expect you to relate garbage in, garbage out to the accuracy of the computer, where I will say jiggle means garbage in, garbage out, a term that is associated with computer's accuracy, which means that when a user enters wrong data, the computer will process and definitely communicate wrong information. Therefore, garbage in, garbage out. The second very characteristic that we shall talk about is storage. That for any object to qualify to be called a computer, it should have some element of storage. And when we talk of storage, we mean the secondary storage, where the computer will keep the information after processing. Therefore, computers keep data and information for future use, because when you are using a computer, you will put your information there, and at a later time, you will need to refer to it. The third characteristic that we shall look at is speed, that computers are very fast in their operation. They execute in millions of instructions per second, whereas a human person, a human body, will execute a few instructions in a second. Computers have ability to process and manipulate quite a number of instructions in one microsecond, not even a second, but in a microsecond. So we say that the slowest computer, in fact, as we speak now, will be able to execute over 15 million instructions in 1 second. And therefore, you can imagine the speed of the computer. If we say that the slowest, as we speak in the market, executes in over 15 millions of instructions per second, it really communicates to us that computers are very, very fast. The fourth characteristic, we can talk about diligence. And this I want to correct, that most of the students write the word diligence with D-E instead of D-I. So the correct spelling for diligence is D-I-L-I-G-E-N-C-E, diligence. So computers are diligent in their operations, that they are capable of doing quite a lot, the same task over and over again without complaining or getting tired or even getting bored. Therefore, that's why, for example, you can look at a computer for DJs. You will find that the task that computer executes is to play music. If you have been listening to radios and televisions, there are some times when they put something that will keep repeating itself, and there is no any complaint, and there is no any day that you will see the computer complaining that, I am tired of this. Look at what happens in the banks as you go to bank on the account, on the counter or what. You will see some messages during Christmas seasons that will keep repeating themselves if you know slide looping. You just have a slide or two, then you loop them. The computer can play that from today until the power will go off. So it will never complain that, you know what, I'm doing the same task. But tell a student that, you know, what's your name? What's your name? And you do that over 10, 20 times. Even a student under your authority, you will see him complaining and say, you know what, teacher, oh, he will keep quiet. He will not continue to say, I'm innocent Akandwanaho, innocent Akandwanaho, innocent Akandwanaho. You will even get tired of mentioning your name. But a computer can do the same task over and over again without getting tired or bored. Then another characteristic is automation. Computers are automatic in some instances. They can do tasks where they need no supervision of human body, of humans. For example, there is nobody who reminds the computer to keep time. It will keep the time. It will keep the time, update the date without your intervention at all. And also, we can use some computers to automate some activities. You see, you can tell your computer every time. You just do settings that every time it starts, it should remind you about a certain task or quite a number of other tasks. Or you can set the reminder, and when that time comes, automatically the computer generates the reminder, and you can. So computers are automatic. Some operations are very automatic. They can take place without your intervention. Then artificial intelligence. When we talk of artificial intelligence, we look at the ability of the computer to answer queries or to respond to commands or requests given to them by the user. So the computer has that ability. You can answer a question, pose a question, and the computer will give you the solution. So you can, whenever you go to the computer and you say 5 plus 6 plus 5 divided by this, the computer has some element of intelligence that it is going to manipulate that particular question you have given it, and then you get the answer. The reason we call it artificial intelligence is because it is dependent on the programs installed in that very computer. You know, we have a challenge. Sometimes we ask questions that why is the computer's intelligence referred to as artificial? The answer is that because it depends on programs installed in that very computer. So I have a challenge with most of the students that will answer this question by saying, because it is man-made. No, that will be a very, very wrong answer. I have told you that the very answer we expect every time we ask that question, or if you must know what it means, is that the artificial intelligence of the intelligence of a computer is referred to as artificial. Why? Because it depends on programs installed into the computer. Then we have this other characteristics: versatility. Versatile, as you hear, versatile. Quite a number of different tasks. So a computer can do different tasks. Different tasks. That's what versatility means. You can use a computer to type. You can use a computer to play a song. You can use the computer to automate processes in an industry. You can use the computer to do image processing. You can use quite a number of tasks and different tasks that the computer will perform. So that is what versatility means. Then another characteristic that we shall end with is communication. That the computer has the ability to communicate information. And communication, you know, is sending and receiving of information. So it can send information over, of course, a network, and it can receive a message over the network. Therefore, the 8 are the major characteristics of a computer. This is not to say that these are the only characteristics of a computer, but they are the main characteristics of a computer. I want to thank you very much for listening and for attending my lessons. I will expect questions in relation to the topic that we have just covered about characteristics of a computer. An introduction, of course, we'll find a computer. We looked at different characteristics of a computer. You will expect questions also from me, and I will expect answers from you. Thank you very much. Keep visiting our site for continued learning.